One more team left to qualify, and both of our representatives in this final matchup are coming looking to double down, being there last year, trying to go 2 consecutive years to join the vast majority of our teams that will be at our CCL LAN playoffs. My whole shift with me, I've got Visions, and we've got the St. Clair Saints and SIUE for like the 18th million time in the last year and a half. These guys know each other. They've played each other a bunch. And, well, this is the one that may matter the most out of all their previous matchups, including one at Columbus last year.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point, man. I mean, there is nothing more than both of these teams want more than just winning over top of the other, right? You want to be able to put them down, win that grudge match, then advance to LAN. I mean, everything rides on this, and based off of what we've seen, it's been a little bit of back and forth throughout these last couple of months with these two boys kind of going head-to-head. But, I mean, you take a look at some of the replays that we've got from these guys in previous series. They're almost always tight, and you can always expect big plays.
Yeah, without question. And I think the thing about it has been for both these two teams, SIUE comes out of a lot of roster changes here in the last couple of, comparing last year's roster to this year's. Whereas for St. Clair, kind of the same situation, but both teams may be highlighted by their younger players. I mean, we talked about Priestley was kind of, this whole last year and a half. He's been unbelievable, but Relays, Blaz, Bendy, all coming in kind of as new guys. They've fulfilled all of the roles from previous, I won't say superstars, but impact players in the past. Whereas D-Day and Slowell are back in the mix, but I've been really impressed with what Anchor and Big Country have put together. So both teams have done well, kind of reforming a new roster, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, based off of what we've seen so far, like the Saints even had a great opening to the year too. Like during this game, I think they finished second to Northwood at the very beginning when we ran that CCL tournament. So these guys since the start have been really good, but to be in this position now where they are forced to win against a team that they have so much history against, you just never know which way it's going to go. But take a look at the roster here. You mentioned it, Priestley, Bendy, plays as well as Relays. These guys here, man, I mean, they are a force to be reckoned with, and they have so much built-in chemistry over these last few months they've been playing with each other.
Yeah, the last time that we've had a chance to kind of commentate over the St. Clair team is that this year was the first year where they were never looked at as a dark horse, underdog, Cinderella, or anything of the sort. That's been their categorized storyline over the last couple of years, especially last year coming out of the Division 2 part of the season, and then putting on everyone on notice during the playoffs. Not the case this time through. They've been really solid from start to finish, and their results have definitely re-inspired, I would say, a lot of that Canadian audience that's used to seeing a lot of success out of the country. On the other side of things, though, for SIUE, again, kind of talking about the players that are returning and the ones that are newer, interestingly enough, again, you've Plasmid, who I think has really kind of been the star of this roster in particular, but Anchor has, I think, again, fulfilled a really solid role for this team, kind of filling in the gaps and maybe even making them a better team than they were last year, which is surprising to say.
Yeah, that is very possible, too. I mean, he adds just so much to the roster when you just talk about raw slaying power, as well as, living up to his name in a lot of situations, too, right? I feel like he's just a very wise player, right place, right time. And then you add in a lot of the, the other just kind of mechanical talent with this sub duo that we have on this roster. It'd be a very dangerous team, man. And it's once again a squad that I think is just really good at picking their moments and is also really strong through multiple game modes.
Well, taking a look at how these two teams have squared up then in their head-to-head in terms of the modes. Again, pretty even down the line. Biggest thing about it is St. Clair put together a little bit more of a convincing playoff run so far. Only dropping one game in their regular season as well. Really solid across all the modes. Whereas on the other side, SIUE are trying to kind of regain a little bit after a loss against St. Edwards. Both hard points really weren't even all that close. Actually, none of the respawns were all that close. So that's kind of where you look at SIUE, see, can you be better today on the respawn? And on the flip side for St. Clair, they were, I would say, maybe tested more so than we would have expected versus CSUN. At least, again, the Search and Destroy, the 6-1 opener that they had in Map 2, they didn't really put much together on the Control either. They had to get it done by the hard points in the Map 5 yesterday.
Yeah, I had to get it done through that way, which is not what you always expect because, like you said, like this team can be just really explosive and, wouldn't be surprised if they could come out really, really hot in the first 3 maps and almost put away a lot of their series. That's how they've done it through a lot of their matches through the regular season. But the hard points, I think, is where I kind of direct my focus for this match because you look at SIUE, the Cougars over here haven't really been too great, especially watching over their matches yesterday. A little inconsistent here, so I think they're going to have to grab one of the two here in this best of 5.
I agree. So here's our best of 5 map series layout for us. in our final LAN qualifier, and we go back to a Fortress hardpoint. Are you kidding? I mean, I don't know. I think this is a miscue from SIUE. I mean, they got absolutely put down by St. Edwards on this map. It was a 250 to 160 yesterday. I'm surprised they keep it in the pool after that, because that's not just like a near loss. We missed out on a couple of things. That's a, pretty convincing tally. And on the other side, St. Clair 250 to 128 CSUN on this map in their map 4 yesterday. So I think if you're St. Clair, you got to be feeling pretty good about the fact that you got this map pick to open up the series.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, maybe there's been a little bit of prep. You do mention the fact that these guys have played each other, a numerous amount of times. So maybe figuring out something, a way to shut down a specific player, whatever it might be, building the challenge onto it. I mean, I like it. Throw a little ego chow in there, see if you can come out with it. But I think it's certainly going to be good looks here for the Saints coming into a matchup like this, where they've already been here, done that. The S&Ds, though, a little bit interesting. Like the Fortress S&D, I think, realistically, this series has the ability to go the distance. And I think this is a map that is at least a little bit better for SIUE. If they can grab 1 or 2 of these through the first 4, they have a shot at being able to get the distance there and maybe take it all together. But can't sleep on St. Clair and S&D either. That's where they've found a lot of their key wins in those map 5s.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, too, for this St. Clair team is that when we've watched them play up against teams in the past throughout like their playoff bracket, for instance, they went through a bracket that they handled really, really well. Like flat out, I thought they did a really nice job kind of controlling their own destiny. They really put down a number of good squads on their way. They did lose kind of surprisingly to Davenport in 3-0 fashion, but once they got to the lower bracket, they took down Michigan. They beat this SIUE team in 5. And then they got their revenge versus Davenport before eventually falling short of Northwood. So right. I think it's one of those situations where if you're St. Clair, you've had a chance to kind of obviously like learn this opponent first and foremost. But on top of that, you met up against a lot of other really good teams on this kind of route and pathway to get to where you are now. It just comes down to making sure you've got everything put together and you're not just getting some of one and some of another. Like you actually play good, complete COD from start to finish, because that's one thing that SIUE, if they come out on a good day, they can absolutely do.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the thing about like this game in a nutshell too, especially when you just have all of your qualifying matches on one day. It's like, listen, sometimes it is just about, who is going to show up and who's just going to be that team that just kind of, takes it. And very well, it could happen. We saw it in the first match of the day, right? Anything can happen. Moments like these where it's all on the line and the pressure is just building and building. Only one team can come out with the dub, baby. SIUE going up against St. Clair Saints. This is going to be one for the history books. These two, like you said, Alan, both in the LAN last year, but only one will be here this time.
A lot of promise for both these two programs. And lots of changes for St. Clair, but it's worked out beautifully for them. For SIUE, it's just trying to live up to the hype that they sometimes carry with them throughout the regular season, the postseason, and possibly extending that to LAN. It's Fortress Hardpoint. St. Clair already on their way, looking to get some early time, and they're going to feel like this is way too open. They've already got mid-map control. They're already over towards the hard point, and Blaz has gotten the first 2 kills to really affirm that the Saints can drop themselves in for some early time at P1.
Oh, Blaz even comes through for the 3rd as well. So, yeah, a great opening for the Saints. Going to put them right back in the blender early and try to keep them there if they can. And, well, you can see just how much time they're taking just to kind of check these little angles, check corners, make sure they're not missing out on anyone, but they've missed out on Blaz, or have they? Team shots are good. Break is there. SIUE able to fight for some of this P1 time.
Yeah, nicely done for SIUE, working back after a convincing kill feed started off this map. Get this back to essentially level terms. Anchor trying to work in. He's the only one remaining for the Cougars. First hardpoint still open, so, I mean, SIUE are spawning in the middle of nowhere at the moment, and as Anchor drops, this could get dangerous quick. St. Clair locking down the back, Priestley into the hardpoint, and Gallows will open up to a very confident setup for St. Clair.
Oh, they're going to take away some space down low, and now they even have to be a little bit worried about this pinch that could unfold behind them. Relays on 4 in a row, just kind of waiting for that call and that push to come through the front. Might likely come right from behind, or maybe just reinforce for the side door. Bendy's there for 2. Last one's inside, and well, Lomo actually does find a nice little double, turns and snaps on Blaz to try to keep the play alive and fight for the remaining 30.
SIUE didn't turn around after that double came through. They're focused on new. They had a chance to fight for this back 30, no problem. That seems like a bit of a miscue. I mean, we were just probably as surprised as anybody else that Slow-Mo gets that turn for a double, but that's a missed chance in a major way for the Cougars, who even on this transition are going to be stressed out just a touch. They don't even know that they've got this back safely locked in because there's no one really controlling mid outside of Slow-Mo, who's just kind of existing. So 74 plays 12. SIUE are giving away a ton of space, but as the hit's on the way, Big Country, good read on it. 3 for 1 goes the trade, but SIUE bounced out. They don't spawn in.
Yeah, they don't spawn in. Spawn's very wonky. Both teams still have a shot at being able to secure them and lock it in. It is still SIUE on the time, and they're starting to deal with a couple of members in the back, but here comes the next flood. Everyone looking to run on through here for St. Clair. Have to get through Anchor, but he doesn't really get a read on everyone to the left. Does put together 2, just not the 3rd, and now the hill will go neutral for now.
And the spawns are good for the large majority of the Saints off of this next play. 22 seconds to fight for, and St. Clair will eventually get in. Slow-Mo, the last one to contest. No, he's turned away. So SIUE, man, what a critical in-game decision that turns into a massive mistake, allowing St. Clair to grow their lead to 60-plus points, and the early rotation for SIUE ultimately doesn't really amount to too much.
I mean, they're already set up for new. This is just St. Clair kind of having their way with SIUE right now. Not only are they securing P3 time and breaking it, but they're also rotating and winning, and they're here first. SIUE going to have to put something together and put something together quick. Still only at 27 seconds. We know this is a comeback map, but you do not want to let this get away from you.
No, not at all. I mean, it's starting to become a bit almost embarrassing at the start here. Inside the hardpoint, Blas not able to do too much. Nice little transfer for Relaz. That's going to be an opportunity for him to kind of get the reload off and take the next gunfight, but Slow-Mo gets the stun off, and with that, SIUE will secure their break. Quick threat, though, from the Saints, working around the back. 2 members will spawn all the way out, though, so this hit will really just be a 2v3 on the site itself for the remainder of time. Slow-Mo denied for anything beyond the 4 kills he was already carrying, but D-Day good for the majority of scrap time, as the final hit from Priestley will kind of get a couple of seconds here for St. Clair.
Yeah, they get about 20 or so here. So St. Clair still in a firm position. Priestley battling out here versus D-Day, gets the best of him. Won't be able to challenge there for the second, but the kills still feel like it's mainly raining in green. Anchor fights back, takes one off of the time, and allows the hill to go neutral here while his teammates come off of spawn and try to reset up.
Yeah, ND off the corner, just locking down anyone from getting in. Sees the threat up top, doesn't want to deal with it, tries just a couple of jump peeks, pushing these players hopefully off that single window. Semtex out, doesn't quite land. St. Clair, not any interest or availability of getting into the hard point as of yet. Bendy's still stuck here back hay. And this is fine, I would say, for SIUE. He's like, you can stay there if you want. I'm actually surprised that Anchor didn't try to push forward and get Bendy while he was on essentially 2 HP. Maybe another misstep here, and Bendy punishes him. He gets the double, tries to turn to find D-Day, but ultimately the hardpoint ult just stays neutral.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for Bendy, it feels like SIUE actually would have collected a good amount of time, but a lot of it goes neutral, as you mentioned. The game clock will win out on that hill for the most part, but it is still St. Clair that have themselves about a full hardpoint lead, so sooner or later, SIUE going to have to really change it and not only set up the breaks have been there, but the holds have not been once
Correct.
They get into the hill, and now they're getting a bit of split spawns here, so going to have to be some good reads from St. Clair.
Yeah, it just need to see some more convincing audibles from the IGL of SIUE. You know, if we get certain kills, we have to be able to kind of read the room and find what's best available for us on the OBJ in particular. So St. Clair now growing the lead to nearly 100 points that they can hold right here. And oh goodness, it's an absolute blender. D-Day through the middle of the map is trying to force something in, but he's by himself, and SIUE look lost right now.
I mean, this is crazy at the moment. Pinned at the back, the team shots are coming through. They can't even buy a trade at the moment, man. This is beyond the blender. This is not looking great. Scrap time. Every single second goes over. Relays is picking them apart on rotation. He's about to earn a streak, and it almost feels like this map is over.
Oh, it's over, brother. I mean, SIUE is just not playing together at all. Individual kills, untraded all over the place. Priestley going to be tested from both doors at the same time. Pre-fire decent. SIUE, a break attempt. St. Clair still have some members spawning nearby. Not fully in, but within the realm of possibility of getting together and stacking for a hit, which is what seems to be on the way as they clear out the mid-building. Now the hit on the way. D-Day in the corner. Oh, gosh. Doesn't quite get a single kill. Trades back and forth. Ultimately, the Cougars still inside the hard point, but Blas just walks up, finds the kill. Anchor now stuck in the back. He's on reload, and St. Clair will get the back 15, and they're already threatening new with a triple stack on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, no real zoning through mid. Everyone's just bunkered up in the back. Gotta try to hold on to your life here, or you'll probably end up spawning out. Unfortunately, you realize we'll take out Blaz there with the trophy system. Gonna have to hold on, try to get one back, and he does. He's good for the first, but can they try to brute force? Can they get to the back? Looking like a hard yes.
Oh, where's D-Day at? He's so deep, doesn't watch the doorway at all. Now Anchor from inside the hard point has to try to respond to this. Spawns again get blocked. Slow-mo, good track down onto Blaz, but he's traded. In all the meantime, it's just Big Country inside the hill. Still soaking up time, which is a bit of a lifeline, but there's just no help here for SIUE. Another foiled setup instantly for St. Clair. You got Relazed on 25 and 16, Bendy 19 and 13, Priestley 20 and 12. I mean, this is a slaughter in favor of St. Clair as they just put this one out of reach and could win it right here.
Yeah, they can. They get the tick. Tough scenes here. SIUE just not showing up, and one final moment to try to get them off the time and extend it one more hill, but would it even matter? 5 spree comes in for Bendy as he puts it away, make it 6. St. Clair all over SIUE here in map number 1 as they blow them away on the Fortress hardpoint.
And the Saints got to be in comms right now, giggling, having a good time, and asking themselves only one question. Why is this so easy? I mean, SIUE didn't show up at all, brother. No. I mean, you're the 4th match of the day. You should be ready to go. But first and foremost, I don't like the fact that they don't veto this map after the result from yesterday. And second of all, I mean, there's just no adjustment in any form for SIUE. Flat out, it was just one. It started with one terrible decision. Slow-mo gets an impressive double out of nowhere. But SIUE, who could have turned and watched mid-map, just say, no, we're just going to go to new. Like, it just felt lazy. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. It's just not what you expect from SIUE in any form.
No, I'm with you, man. Very uncharacteristic. I don't know. You just feel like there's a lot more firepower built into this roster. And yeah, man, it really was just kind of difficult macro decisions that were called throughout this entire map that I think really did hurt them. And don't know if they could just never really get off the ground. So they were in the blender and they just kind of, slowly let this one get away from them. You never really found good moments. I mean, even here, right? Like Bendy stays alive in stables for like 40 seconds. Like
come on, guys. Yeah, that's just something that, again, you don't expect for a LAN qualifier this late in the postseason to not be communicated and then followed up on. Felt really nervy for SIUE, honestly. And then by the time that little 3-piece happened from Bendy, it just felt like there was never a concentrated hit for SIUE. Yeah. And everything was just kind of, us two are this way, you two are that way. Never really felt like we got a full 4-man setup in any form. So St. Clair stroll through Fortress Hardpoint. 250, 108. Oh, heavens. And then the stat lines, I mean, come on, where do you want to start? I mean, non-traded kills, probably? I mean...
the time's also crazy for Priestley, putting up 23 kills, 2 minutes and 25 seconds, just living in the time. I mean, and there was no one really ever threatening him, right? Like, he's just sitting from afar with the AR, just kind of knocking them down as they fly into him. And that really was it. Just a funnel here for St. Clair Saints to grab a heck of a lot of nice stats coming out of that map number 1, dude. But, I mean, SIUE, they got a lot of maps left. It's not over yet. Maybe, again, one of those situations where hard points aren't going to be close to this series. It means that they're going to have to Neslo their way through potentially.
Yeah. Okay. Hotel Search and Destroy is where that whole Nesloing the series conversation starts. And for SIUE, they did beat St. Edwards on this map 6-2 yesterday. So there's a little bit of good news for them in terms of recent success. St. Clair did not. Well, they 6-1. That's right. This was the map 5 versus CSUN, where the first 5 rounds were over in the snap of a finger. I mean, they're
quick,
really, really quick. So the Saints just as good in this map mode combo as SIUE. And again, I think if you're St. Clair, you're looking at these first 3 maps saying, thanks, boys. Appreciate you putting some of our best map mode combos in the mix for us.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to say no to it, right? You're never going to say no, that's for sure. So, I mean, after the map number 1, like we said, vibes are probably really high right now. The camp's probably just on top of the world coming out of that first round win here in the map 1. But have to do it again in the S&D. And like you said, they play really fast. And I think that's the scariest thing is if St. Clair start running at you in finding kills, and these are like, 20, 30-second rounds, and they start to snowball a couple, I think that's where we really start to get nervous for SIUE. But, you're going into a brand new map. It's a brand new game mode. They have found, this win yesterday. Have to kind of talk up their story too, because they're not out of it just yet, but it's not the SIUE that we've known, throughout these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's just, man, it's hard to come back after a map that is that deflating and then just instantly say, all right, now we're loaded in and we're good to go. Like, at this level, well, I guess, there are moments in there where, yeah, you could say that. I don't know. It just feels like at this level,
I know.
The ability to like immediately rubber band back into like, all right, now we're here, like, is not nearly as prevalent as even the challengers or especially the CDL level, where it's just like, all right, throw that map away, let's just reset to the next one. That's a deflating loss. I mean, that's the worst loss you've seen today on any map mode combo. So I don't know, tough scenes, but the Cougars have to put together a good opening here to this map. Otherwise, this series could be real quick.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I think it's just the key that the playmakers, get involved early. Again, like these guys are going to probably throw a lot of aggression at you. I think that overall, when you're watching the Saints play S&D, it's probably one of the cleaner S&D teams that we have, like, right now in the CCL. I was going as far as to say I think they look really clinical, and they're really difficult to beat. So if you can come out with a couple of key plays early, get some of these guys going, just get the juice flowing, just like a couple of good moments. I think that's sometimes what you need after a really tough map 1 loss. It's not over yet, right? There's still a lot of maps left. It's just trying to reset, and obviously easier said than done. But I think you just need to get some of these big playmakers involved, try to enable them, try to get some big plays going, something along those lines, just to get some of the vibes back up.
Yeah, the vibes portion is, I think, the biggest thing for me.
Yeah,
flat out. Like, you just cannot have a demoralized team right now. Not this early. Again, this is it. This is literally the last chance. One of the first times that we've really had kind of series that are laid out like this, where you get the chance to kind of talk over the good, the bad, and the ugly from the day before. You know who you're playing coming into today. You've one matchup, prep for it, get ready to go. And when you come out, and let's just say that is the case, where the Cougars came out prepped, ready, feeling good about their matchup, feeling good about what they went over, to nearly get 100-point clubbed, that changes everything. It's like almost like you forget about everything you talked about, everything that happened yesterday, and you kind of just live in the moment. So coming out and rebuilding those vibes and starting off to a good start to this search, I think, is critically important for the Cougars staying in the series.
I'm right there with you, pal. Both teams played it yesterday. Not counting anyone out just yet, but got to see some early signs here from SIUE just to show us that we're here to play. We're fighting to get to LAN. They've made it this far. And, well, I'm sure they're willing to send this at least a couple more maps, but not easy ones to get off of St. Clair. Got to grab one of these first 3, and you certainly want this one if you can get it.
Yep. All right. Here we go. Hotel Search and Destroy St. Clair up a convincing 1-0 map count, and they've got eyes on hitting B right off the rip with relays just watching over through mid. Bendy's going to come around the side. The stun should give away some information to SIUE saying, wait a second, we don't have anybody inside of B. We need to change that. And hold on a second. Bendy almost just meleeed his teammate. Careful. Anchor will rotate in. Help from Big Country. Shots up top are decent. And there it is. Lockdown good. Solid read from the Cougars.
Yeah, I love that right there. No one budges. No one overcommits. They just play it nicely. Wait patiently. And they likely secure the round number 1. Relays has got nothing to work with here. And, well, it's an AR that he's going to have to work back into B with to retrieve the bomb. So this one just about all wrapped up, have to imagine, here for SIUE. Great first opening round.
Yeah, and for St. Clair, you kind of miss out in the design of the opening play. We're trying to catch somebody at rugs with that setup where Relays is watching mid. If he gets shots off, someone's going to exit to bricks that rugs area. The stun is meant to catch them, but ultimately, without throwing any nades at all over towards A, the Cougars get a pretty solid read that, yep, this is indeed a B hit. So good read, good execution. And Relays, it's only a matter of time. I believe that was Big Country to get him, so that's 3 kills, I believe, for him.
Yeah, and he's able to add in, like, just that little additional peek there. I think you had one player in this site already when they tried to push on through with the stuns and nades, and Big Country was just sitting at that side door, just waiting for all that utility to be thrown, peek out, find the double, and then gets the 3rd here. So great opening round. Chance for some early streaks. Still a few more kills out, but that's what we wanted to see. Wanted to see a nice, convincing opening round here, and that's exactly what we get.
Yep, flawless, in fact. Doesn't get much more convincing than that. In fact, I don't think it does. Maybe the ace is the only way it gets more convincing.
Yeah,
or,
maybe.
I guess, depending on how you look at it, like, everyone gets a kill, little team ace.
Oh, true, yeah.
Another way to kind of, depending on what you feel is convincing. Last first blood, that's on to slow-mo, trying to get into A. He was not the bomb carrier, though, so that was just a feel of force coming out from the Cougars, who now had to persist the rest of this round into a 3v4.
And not a whole lot of information here for them, too, right? So, yeah, you can see them, like, starting to scout out, hey, is someone working our flank? We'd have no real map control, which means that they don't really have any options unless we start to see Big Country clear out that backside. No peaks here either from St. Clair, just giving them nothing to work with. They're going to take full control of mid and just give themselves options to bounce between either site on a retake here. I like the call, but Big Country might be able to catch someone off guard here with a peek through mid.
Yeah, the time is running out on this kind of patient, let's see if we get lucky and someone crosses our line of sight play. Big Country gets the first. Do you expect Priestley playing this far forward, though? I think it's the follow-up question. Oh, he does see him just over the top of the head. Well done by Big Country, and St. Clair are just running into him. Bendy does get another kill over towards A. The chase is on, but man, that felt a little bit disjointed from St. Clair, trying to keep forcing out plays, and Big Country is going to be on 5 in a row with a plant now.
Will go down safely. Bendy going to have to play retake through the backside here in a 1 versus 2. Don't want to give this kill to Big Country. That is for sure. But we'll see what he can try to come up with. Going to give away his position. Wallbang shots coming in. Nothing going to connect. Still time to work with, but no utility. Going to really hurt his chances here as he starts to clear out the corners.
It's just taking too long, I think, for Bendy. Give it a real try. Yeah, not going to happen here. And, man, that's a really puzzling round from St. Clair. It almost felt like one of those things that there may have been, like, a mid-com where it's just like, hey, like, we're 4v3, we can play for retake, but, like, if you're someone like Priestley, you see Blaz inching further forward, so you feel like you have to inch further forward. It's like, okay, well, he's inching further forward, so I have to keep inching further forward. And that little bit of antsiness just gets caught by SIUE, who was really running out of time to put their execute together, so a little lucky in a certain regard, and what looked to be, for St. Clair, try to trade on a Big Country ends up turning into 5 kills for him, and the round to SIUE.
Yeah, the only good news is that you at least shut the spree down. That's about it. I think it's a good moment there. Coming on through for Bendy. Spots the first player and just waits for that challenge for Big Country. So, something at least to take in. Still down 0-2, however. Blaz just allows one to run right in, but maybe not expecting the second as quickly. D-Day gets some pre-fire shots out and won't be able to escape with his life. Last one up his anchor, and there it is. St. Clair. They strike for round number 1 here for them.
That was just a raw, dead silence push through mid. There were no nades tossed into front desk at all. Not sure about that one there, Chief. Works out pretty nicely, and I would say good discipline for St. Clair, realizing, hey, we're not going to have an opportunity here to actually check through mid. I just have a Vaznev on me, so I got to hold the desk instead of playing up forward in towards the actual entryway itself. What I believe that was supposed to be Bendy just being a distraction. He had dead silence right off the go and threw a couple of nades over towards B. But SIUE get caught trying to do something funky. That gets the Saints on board. SIUE, their next offense, geared pretty quickly over towards A with support of D-Day Scope.
Relays, good for first blood. Kills now starting to look a little bit better for St. Clair off the rip. D-Day out! Does he find that shot? Looked like Blaz had already dropped down behind the desk, but connects onto the head as he tries to drop, and that will even us up 3 versus 3. Plenty of time on the clock, but back to this kind of, setup near the back where all 3 players are very, very close quarters and then start to fan out afterwards.
Yeah, Bendy watching over the top of bar. The longer there's no noise here at A, the more St. Clair will start to feel weary about a play towards B. And yeah, Relays is already making his rotation over. So is Priestley. They're focused on mid-map. And once more for SIUE, this is taking time. Flank is being watched, though. It's by D-Day Scope is the thing. So he's going to have to hit a shot or be chopped liver, you'd think, with this double hit coming on the long flank. This stun will confirm to St. Clair that the hit is going to be, if the clock already did not give them that indication. Here we go, plan on the way for a 3v3.
And they have a trophy to work with, too. Bendy going to open the doors and try to find some snipes, but won't commit to the challenge right away. Wants to throw the utility in. Says, surprise, surprise, Big Country. I spotted you, rather. Takes him out. Now over the top here, trying to see if he can work for the second. This position from D-Day is just kind of working in and around that connector area, but 3v2, here comes the fight.
Oh, but the thing about it is D-Day kind of gets out for a moment, allows Anchor to pull off this long flank. 20 seconds on the clock. They just have to double chow this. That's all that you have to do. Priestley gives it up full initially with the individual challenge. Bendy was not there to follow up if that kill came through. But Bendy bailed out by the shots from Priestley. Both will carry streaks into the next round, and the St. Clair Saints have tied us at 2.
Good response again, man. I mean, St. Clair's so good at just being able to get themselves into the right place at the right time. Huge win in the back for Priestley as well, but they know something's up, and they slowly start to swarm every single angle here around the kitchen site, break in together, and they find it, again, convincingly. So, down 0-2, they respond with 2 rounds in a row, and now Bendy himself's on 4 in a row.
Yeah. Possible streak. Sniper rifle still out, though. Someone's going to take a couple of shots to earn a potential cruise missile. St. Clair not going to fool anybody by trying to pull everything over towards B. It's all about Bendy looking for jump peaks. He has seen the right elbow of Anchor. You know that there's a threat cocked towards bedroom. They're waiting to see if Bendy can get a shot to connect before they commit, though.
Big kill. T-Day at the back. Brings out a sniper of his own. Pla's going to try to grab one and work for a shot here. Trying to line it up. D-Day, though, going to reposition wisely. 4 versus 3. Still in favor of the defense. Everyone not even going to budge. And it might be another call for a rotation. We'll see exactly what Relays decides to do.
Yeah, Relays just needs to find information before there can be a full commitment for this rotation. Otherwise, maybe there's an opportunity to try to clear out couches, which if they can get a pick onto slow-mo, that opens the door for a lot of opportunities. Oh, does his legs show below the couch right there? He's right on the corner. Relays, no dead silence, is moving very slow. This is a dangerous place to cross, too. Big Country's right in his way. And goodness, both of these two teams are apprehensive to make a move on offense. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's the nerves of the day, right? This has been a common occurrence that we've seen through all of our S&Ds. Teams taking a lot of their time. Priestley going to stretch it, and he will get the bomb down. D-Day doesn't want to over-peek and give away his life. And he does anyway. Blast has just found him. Big Country tagged up through mid. Needs to try to escape with his life.
Yeah, and Priestley's just watching over his previous plant. He just doesn't need the help at the moment, but Big Country provides the kill into Relays. Repositioning this Priestley back over towards Bar. Anchor from the inside corner. Sees Priestley up top. Shots land. Blaz also cleans up Big Country through mid. Slow-mo looking to pick it apart. 1v2 situation down to the 1v1. Slow-mo tries to go for the hop. Blaz is not all that far nearby. He's got to go, and he's got to go quickly if he wants to check this. Over the top. He can't quite hit the shots. Did he get it in time? Yes, just barely. Oh, just barely.
What was that table? There was like something there that was blocking his like field of view for a second. Look at this little plant pot, dude. Let me put that there. It gets so close. Oh, man. A couple more of those shots don't hit. That defuse comes through, man. Like, he just got there in the nick of time. It's a good route. Get one more time there. Yeah, the first, like, 6 shots don't even connect. So, shout out to Plant Pot. Almost gets it, but not fully.
Man. Oh, and how about this for St. Clair? 4-man stack through mid. Nades are in a good place, though, to slow this down from SIUE's perspective. They, of course, will not know how many players are nearby, but that stun does stop St. Clair from trying to threaten in towards mid-desk early. Follow-up nades also on the way. That does tag as well, but this double stack for St. Clair stays alive, and that's the more important thing as Bendy gets to work climbing on the walls.
He's jumping over everything right now.
Sure is.
Little Spider-Man over there. Laz just going to sit. And I mean, we'll see what changes for this setup, right? Because this is exactly what we saw from St. Clair rounds previous. And this time they're going to be challenged from D-Day, who finds the head. Nice shot. Takes out one. Can he keep his life? The support over the top is there. And they'll be able to find a second. Good trades here for SIUE.
And that should be information that, okay, Relays is playing inside of mid as well. Should be enough for us to go for a plant. Semtex, though, over the top plants. Relays does nicely. Gets Anchor off the exit, but no, the plant still comes through. Anchor keeps his life. Tries to finesse a little while longer, but Slow-Mo cutting back through mid takes care of the final members needed, and SIUE kill the drought off and turn this into a tie game.
Man, this S&D is so close. Just seeing 1v1s after 1v1s, and yeah, Relays gets the read, gets the sound cue, probably the call out too. And listen, the last guy's behind you, just can't finish off the first one fast enough to get a clear angle and a clear shot for the challenge on the second, but a really strong attempt. And you know, so far SIUE have been really good at responding to this whole mid stack that St. Clair have been throwing into the middle of the map.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And the nades have been just deterrent enough. Now St. Clair are going to go with some pace towards B. Different from their opener here. They're not throwing nades through mid. They're not even checking rugs. They're just blitzing B. So Slow-Mo will be behind this play. But if this turns into a quick plant, Relays is in a really good spot to watch over mid. And the rest of the subs just have to worry about playing this tight alleyway. So yeah, there's the plant. Now Slow-Mo trying to get entry, but no, denied immediately. St. Clair holding for the moment.
D-Day gets one back. Bendy tries to make a little aggressive red around. Will be shut down. 3 versus 3. Everyone basically inside the site, but now you need Relays to get here. Priestley has a lot to deal with. 2 different entryways. The nade should stop some of the members in the back. Oh, it finds a kill. Huge nade kill here from Priestley. Kenny puts together a second. Shots are good. Takes out D-Day, and the last one falls. What a 2v3 in the site for the Saints.
That's a 3 sub hit for St. Clair on that offense, by the way. I mean, you want to talk about moving with some speed. Relays is the only one, I think, with the tack in hand. And he's just there to make sure no one hits the flank. And even though Slow-Mo kind of cut through rugs early and got behind the play, again, when you've got 3 subs in and the bomb gets planted that quickly, you're not catching anyone off guard because the only thing that can really foil that setup is that early play from around the back. So really well read by the Saints. Turned it into a 1-round edge again. And SIUE, who have been kind of lacking in a certain level of like immediate dedication towards the site, are going to change the tempo up and also give it a quick, hard, fast go towards B.
Only difference, Priestley's already inside, and he's hearing a lot of sound cues right now. Just a matter of how many can Priestley try to get away with. Stun will not connect onto him, but the second will. Nade's coming out, challenge coming through, and Big Country still able to get one. Everyone else alive for SIUE, but they still need to get inside the site and gain control.
It's trophy system's getting some work done, though, for the Cougars. Priestley flipping between weapons. And SIUE still have not fully committed to getting into the site. Now they're going to make their play, leaving Relays the last one left. This would be a 1v3 for them. Bomb not being committed for a plan as of yet. And they're going to rewrap this back over to A. It's a cautious play, but it's the right one. It should allow them a pretty easy round here.
I don't want to take any risk whatsoever. I can respect it. As long as it works out successfully. This isolated player in the site just can't go down, and well, Relays knows. You haven't planted yet. You're not going to plant over on the B site. But he's spotted. He's caught in the back. Finds that first one. Door breaks open. Hold on a second. D-Day doesn't have a clean look just yet, but repositions does get there. However, it gets a little bit crazy there for a moment. You're thinking there's a shot. He has a chance to turn on him.
My heart. Right then.
You could feel his panic.
That was literally the only way that play, again, it's a cautious play, to turn and rotate back. That it can lead you to isolating yourself, and that nearly happened. But we go 4-4. SIUE back onto the defense. Sniper rifles have not been out in the last handful of rounds. Bomb collected, and St. Clair are going to go with 3-1 stack. If Bendy's got dead silence, he made this play happen a couple of rounds ago where he's going to throw a couple of nades towards B and then just focus on this rotation, and the timing is going to be perfect. He catches Slow-Mo. Early 4v3 for St. Clair. Oh, and he's going to get B.
Oh, yeah, he's going to push right through. He's going to give them an option to come to B, or he could flank all the way through if he really wants to. Big Country forced to drop the trophy on his feet and just try to play his life while D-Day does his best to watch over, but he can't commit to that gunfight. Now that bomb inching closer and closer to A. Should be a bomb plant here potentially, unless Big Country can stop it.
And SIUE, oh, they're going to get the shot through the door. Takes down Priestley. Bendy hasn't committed to moving across catwalk yet. He's just looking for kills at mid-map. They don't know if there's anyone at couches at the moment. So SIUE, for a moment, have created some breathing room. But, of course, there's always going to be the caution of, are they moving into B? And there's the read. Bendy eventually gets this forward position to pay off. His second kill in the round, and the bomb will pivot around to get plant at B. I don't like that at all.
Oh, I don't either. maybe thinking they'd already made their move, but I mean, you had Bendy in position who could have watched over that whole cross. So I'm with you. Bit of a mistake, but a chance to still make up for it. 2 versus 2. Both Saints players going to try to just regain control of their side of the map here in the restaurant while one plays inside. How do you retake this, though, if you're SIUE? Do you just flood through the back? Do you fly in and try to bait?
Yeah, I don't think there's much utility left besides the field upgrades. Semtex pops the door. Anchor is going to try to go around the back. Relays will be in his way. Oh, and he just doesn't guess this correctly. Shot at from behind, trying to clear off the site. How has he been able to leave this long? May not matter, though. Not a lot of time on the clock. Relays has played this well. There is the time needed for the defuse. Big Country gets the kill, but nothing more. St. Clair to map point.
So much of this map is taking place like inside of kitchen at this B site, which I love. I absolutely love. Like, we've barely gotten any A plants, if any. Feels like everyone has just made a late rotation over to B, or you've won purely just through kills.
Yeah.
Very interesting S&D here on Hotel. I am here for it, but it's the Saints that have been able to have that slight edge here thus far. Bringing it back after that 0-2 deficit. Much more comfortable, and Bendy's even going to switch it up. I was thinking maybe going to bring up the scope, but decides to switch back to the tack. Doesn't want to throw anything too fancy here into this round number 10.
Bendy, what are you doing, brother? Cracked for being crack's sake. That's all that movement was. Nate's landing to Relay's lap over through sofa. He's got help, though. Priestley's watching his cross, so they're just kind of eyeing up a couple of the corners, are the two of them defensively through mid-map. Blaz on top of B. Just watching for anything through rugs. He may catch Slow-Mo if those doors pop, but Slow-Mo stays concealed for now as SIUE just very methodically continue to try to break down this approach.
Might be one of their real first attempts at a plant here.
Yeah.
Try to get this down today if they can, but I mean, it's just so many angles. Yeah, you need this cleared out. Big Country's done it again. Every single time it feels like he's the one to peek through mid, open up with a first blood, but 25 seconds on the clock here. They're using a lot of the time, and maybe it pays off. Now a 4v2.
But no one has checked for Bendy's position yet, and if he pops this door at the right time, he could take down the planter. May not matter. Bomb planted. Kills do come through.
Child?
Bendy for the double. Not really sure why D-Day even bothers to check that, but regardless, there's still a lot of work to be done here for Bendy. Pops the dead silence. Going to re-wrap back through mid. Big Country is not watching for this. He's watching the cross. If he gets this pick, it turns into a 1v1, but the long route may have killed off too much time. There's the shots to land. Now the 1v1. Bendy to win the map and avoid the round 11 has Slow-Mo at range, and that nade's not going to end up doing all that well for him. Now he's just got to hop it. Slow-Mo to check. Shots land! Wait! He may have gotten it!
Did he get it?
He may have gotten it! It was at like 7.6! No. It's gonna be tight! He gets it with time to spare! The 1v4 is a breakdown!
I just ripped my headset out. I don't know what you said, Alan, but oh my god!
It's an absolute breakdown, Austin.
What was that?
Absolute breakdown.
1 versus 4. D-Day. Dude, I'm sorry. I never call anyone out like this, but D-Day threw that away. He threw that away. Oh my god. I'm going through so much right now. What was that? Dude, a 1v4 to secure the map? Are you kidding me?
It's a breakdown, brother.
Oh my god.
Absolute breakdown. I don't have the words.
God.
Oh
my god.
Roll it back. I mean, look, this SIU team does not look prepared to play. It's this St. Clair team today, flat out. There has been a very, very significant amount of lack of dedication to plays from SIU, even on the offensive side of this map through and through. But there at the end, the challenges are just, why? Even in the last challenge, like, wait an extra half a second. He wasn't on it for 7.5. Wow. What is going on?
Dude, my heart is like beating out of my chest. I can only imagine what Bendy's feeling like right now, dude. Come on, that was absurd. That's one of the craziest things that's happened up to this point in the CCL season. I don't care. That's, man, a round like that completely locked up in just about anyone's hands. But SIUE, I mean, they fumble it beyond belief. We'll see it. Like, look at this. Look at this challenge.
Why?
What are
Why?
you challenging?
Just
why
why?
are you ever challenging that? He has to come to you. And then this.
And the thing about it is, like, it's not even just that. It's like, if you're Big Country and Slow-Mo, just get together. Play it through mid-couch if you have to. I just don't know why you try to isolate again and just put yourself in one-dimensional angles. It just shouldn't happen. A 1v4 should not happen like that. It just shouldn't. It just can't.
No, it can't. It can't.
Oh, man.
Oh, Big Country drops 13 for the L. Dude, man, he takes away all... Bendy takes away all the spotlight, because I was ready to come into like this with, you know, Big Country just picking them apart, great through the middle of the map. But it's all for naught. It's just a Bendy diff, I guess. 9 to the 10 non-traded. Just a... Man, I mean, what do you say? The guy is him. He's him.
Yep. In certain ways, yes. In certain ways, yes, he is him. I just... Wow. That is a fumble and a half, though, from SIUE. Now down 0-2. Round 11 should have been there, but you got to find a way to bounce back, because right now the team feels and kind of looks pretty darn checked. Fortunately, we have to take a small break before we jump into the control, so maybe a chance for some regain for SIUE. Get up, walk around a second, take a couple of breaths, because we've got ourselves St. Clair up 2-0 and a chance to punch the final ticket to LAN. We'll see how it goes when we come back after this. Well, hoping there's enough time here for SIUE to reset, because we jump into an Expo control after a meltdown in round 10 of the Hotel Surge. It will be St. Clair on the offense to kick things off, and early eyes towards A, outside of the fact that Slow-Mo has gained a little bit of space to work with around the back, but immediately shut down, and the focus now comes with how fast his A-zone can be captured.
Yeah, it could get scary very quickly here, man. I mean, SIUE have not had a whole lot of time to reset and regroup. I mean, I feel like neither have I after what we just witnessed, but it's coming right into this one, and they're bringing that same energy. Look at this. First one almost secured here on the point. Lay's just trying to figure out where the last guy's kind of hanging out and contesting from, but doesn't have the support with them, so we might see another retake. SIUE are here with numbers.
Oh, goodness gracious. It is... Just goes from bad to worse quickly, doesn't it? Feels that way.
Yeah, it does.
SIUE just trying to throw a late contest. Now they're getting caught off spawn,
gassed.
relays. Yeah, dude, I think so. I mean, they're stuck. D-Day, if he sends this, yeah, okay. They're just done. I hate to say that, but, I mean, there's just no reason to chow that, waiting for teammates to come off spawn when you just cleared off that pinch. Slow-Mo now off of his last respawn. Also dropped. Second tick of progress on the way. No stack needed. It's a 21 plays 14, and St. Clair looked like they're just in dominant control.
Yeah, man. I mean, how are you not deflated after what just happened? You know, it's showing. It is showing. That is it. Wow. I mean, that was... What, were we on the map for a minute, if that? Or
if that.
Just, the round is just over, man. I know it's an offense, but, man, it just really does feel like SIUE are fully deflated right now, Alan.
And look, like... I don't want to come across as a criminal in this, but it's, you know, it's very easy for us to sit there and say, like, oh, they're just jacked because this thing just happened, so it's like a knee-jerk cause and effect reaction. But, I mean, there's just no reason to pop out into 1v3s and take challenges unless you're just completely done. Like, it's just, these are over-egregious challenges, not any that we've ever seen from SIUE in the past in tight games like this, but who knows? Maybe a chance to build some sort of re-confidence in your teammates and yourself here as a quick approach towards B is underway. First 2 kills are good, and that leads to at least 2 members on for an early stack at the B zone.
Might just be good for it. Only player in the back is going to be relays, so chance to certainly just stack and take it. There's the chow. It's a good moment there from D-Day, and that will be the zone. So not a whole lot of fight come through here for St. Clair. Just more worried about having the setup intact here for the next one. But Bendy, 1 to 2 to 3, just finds all 3 of them off the exit.
Oh, God. Just when you start to think there may be a moment where the frown leaves your face for your SIUE, Bendy strings together the exits, earns the cruise missile, and look at St. Clair's position around the A zone. 26 plays 25, small edge to SIUE in the lives. Lots of time to work with as they make their approach towards A. St. Clair backing up to deal with the early progress, and Bendy and Blas just absolutely dismantle the entire setup for SIUE. It's only D-Day to survive, and he's being chased.
Oh, yeah. He's just trying to get away with his life right now, and he will be able to potentially reset the gunfight. Blas knows what's up, though. He'll sniff him out. So they'll deal with the player in the back and start to focus on everything coming back through the front. Momo will be able to get himself on the time, but I mean, what real support do you have here? Won't even be able to lock in that first tick. Very close, but Bendy's there to respond.
Yep. And now the spawns are in the top left corner of the map. Not what you want to be. Bendy tries to get in to enforce the spawn trap, but it's cut down in the effort. St. Clair hold now the life lead. Minute 13 on the clock. SIUE trying to threaten from top bar. Nade stuns. Impact onto Blas. Help from Bendy. Oh, no way he gets that kill into slow-mo as well. Are you joking? Kills just continue to turn up for the Saints. Blas now off of his regen. Priestley on 5. And SIUE are only able to marginally get out of spawn. But once more, I mean, look at them on the minimap. Like, what are we hitting here? And how are we hitting it? Are you kidding?
Not looking good. 14 up against 21. 45 seconds now with 0 ticks so far. I mean, the setup is still looking great for St. Clair. Some good stun checks might come through to try to get Blas out of this position, but the ARs are exactly where you want them to be. And they're taking a lot of time to push all the way through here and come through mid.
Like, if we're isolating off the stuns, like, let's go. But nobody even clears out this main projector room. Blas is now behind the play, and nobody from SIUE has a chance to clear him or get towards zone. Mind you, Priestley's on 6, so he's probably earned his cruise missile. That's 2 cruise missiles earned. Blas now on 5, could make it 3. And it's a 21 plays 9. There hasn't been an SIUE kill in about a minute and a half until D-Day finally shuts down Blas.
And that says it all, right?
It does, dude. It's done.
Man. It's just, I mean, it's how esports work. It's how sports work. It's, one big moment like that, a clutch moment can just do so much to your mental, especially after, how we saw them in that first map too. They already had to kind of rebound and bounce back, and now having to do it again. It's just too much to ask. 7 in a row here for Priestley. Just streaks galore here for St. Clair to likely put it away right here in this round 3.
The 2 cruise missiles just, I'm actually kind of surprised that St. Clair doesn't try to go to B first here because of those cruise missiles. If I'm being honest, but a little spread of the map looking for kills. Slow-mo walks right into Blas. Oh, man. And the kills just keep coming, man. Quick rotation around the back for Blas. More kills coming out for St. Clair while the clock stays stalled at a minute 15. And SIUE, I mean, they're still in their spawn. Like,
they haven't gotten a kill yet.
They haven't gotten a kill, and they haven't even made a move to try to get across the map in any form outside of the opening break-off.
Yeah, forced to do it now, though. Have to try to get your way into A, and it looks like they will be able to find a couple kills up top. Now just need to find Priestley down low. Doesn't know which way to look. Almost gets anchored there off the turn, but D-Day able to save his teammate, and that should direct the focus here from St. Clair back over to B potentially here, but they are caught in the back at the moment.
Just about trying to clear out these kills. Slow-mo actually gets a double off that play. A couple players lined up there at the end. D-Day follows up. Make sure there is no threat towards B. The clock gets to below 55 seconds. St. Clair spawning kind of in the middle of the left side of the map has a chance to still work across in towards Top Cafe. Make a play over towards A, but Anchors is holding a cheeky angle on the corner, so he should at least be able to take down 1, if not maybe more than that. Bendy up top. Stays alive. Anchor hit up. Denied. Now the full stack starts to come through. D-Day trying to follow up on 4 in a row. Gets the first. Has to wait for the regen. Not even contesting at the moment. So this triple stack gets it to 2.5 ticks worth of progress. D-Day tagged up. Chased down. Trades are in, but is it enough for the side of SIUE to get here to contest the final? Yes, it is. Just before the 3rd tick is locked, and that leads to depletion of that 3rd tick.
A bit of resilience being shown here for SIUE after even the rough start to this round number 3. Bendy thinks he finishes them off more than once, but does get there the final few bullets. And now this control here from Bendy is really everything if he can keep his life. Reinforcements won't be able to get out freely. They're constantly worried about his position, and he's even going to back all the way down, just reinforce this point, try to make sure they get that extra minute.
Yeah, looking good for it. Third tick on the way. Last chance for SIUE is through Anchor, who gets denied, and then D-Day, who also gets shut down by Relazed. So an extra 60, and there's a 3-life lead plus 2 score streaks that could be used. And oh boy, I think you send one of them here just to kind of re-clear out space. And yeah, St. Clair are very, very, very aware that this SIUE team could try to get around their back. And that's really the only way you really lose this round, is if you allow SIUE to get deep in towards this top bar position and around the back through that top cafe spot right where Anchor's positioned. But he gets caught off guard, and now St. Clair can start to make their move on towards the zone if they can find the last couple of kills needed.
Defense holding, though. Down to about 50 seconds. Might be able to see at least one more round here for SIUE, but still have a lot to hold on to. Down by just about 1 life. Momo trying to get a challenge. It's a tough gunfight, but still comes out with it. Finds the head of Bendy, and his teammate also takes out Relays. So this is looking solid so far. Good positions, great map control, and you're keeping them off the point, but it just takes one good hit here from the Saints.
I'm a little surprised that St. Clair hasn't even attempted to throw one of these 2 cruise missiles out. But down to the final moments. 9 plays 11. 2-life lead for SIUE, plus some zone of defensive control around A. Priestley looking to work his way down. Teammates starting to find a couple of kills. Clock stopped. Big Country, red on the staircase, tagged up. Not fully denied yet. Now the stack is in. 2 players are on. SIUE need to find the kills. They need to find it quickly. The contest is in. The Big Country gets shut down. And the final round gets tallied. St. Clair make quick work of SIUE. 3-0 in the control. 3-0 in the series. And we'll see them back on LAN for the 2nd straight year.
They're back, and they do it in insane fashion here. A 1v4 into a clean 3-0 on the Expo. Don't even give SIUE a single map. I mean, even in that final map, it didn't give them anything, it felt like. It was just complete takeover. They were completely deflated from that moment before. And again, how could you not be? Very unfortunate, but Saints, man, they came to play, they showed up, and to a certain extent, I feel like SIUE maybe didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't like the fact that they let Fortress Hardpoint through in the first place, considering what we just had, you know, seen yesterday. The hotel search, that's just, yeah, you know, that's going to be a moment that lives in CCL history. It's kind of alongside, like, the blue Mozu pistol whip on Hacienda Stairs, right? Like there are certain moments that just echo in the annals of the CCL clips category, and that's definitely going to be one of them without question. But SIUE just did not look like they were mentally ready to play St. Clair today, like in any form. It almost felt like, and I hate to, you know, add insult to injury here and just come off too harshly, but it almost felt like they tried to load into like a barely structured ranked game. I mean, even in the hard point, it's just the decisions that were being made when Slow-Mo gets that 2-piece, and then everyone's like, we're just going to keep rotating, so what? Like, it just felt too nonchalant. The search and destroy, kind of, we categorized the mistakes as being ones that just can't be allowed to happen. A lot of those felt a little lazy in regard. And then here in the control, it's just, man, it just felt like they just did not load in almost to a certain point until that 3rd round.
Yeah. First 2, very swift, done in an instant. And Bendy, again, 17 of the 19. I mean, untraded. This guy just has an incredible series. Priestley has that great map number 1 as well. I mean, like, that's the best thing about the Saints roster is I feel like you can talk about, you know, any individual at any given time, but it's not just about the, you know, individuals. Like, it really is how this team kind of works off of each other, man. It's beautiful. It's great. It's been very consistent this entire season. They've gotten better and better. You mentioned all the tough matches they have to go through to get to this point, and they do so. And they advance to LAN in 3-0 fashion, not dropping a single series over these last couple days. Very clean stuff from the Saints.
Yeah, and they're looking deadlier than ever. I mean, the St. Clair team that we had on LAN last year was really solid. Just could not quite piece it together to kind of break the mold and surprise some of the favorites. But there feels like there's something about this St. Clair team that may be able to do it. Maybe it's because the region that they were in was probably one of the most competitive this year in the CCL. They did a nice job, really only dropping to the major favorites, and even then, they were taking maps at worst off of some of them. So I think that this St. Clair team has a lot of promise. I'm excited to see them show up and possibly be the best iteration of the Saints so far. But for SIUE, they will finish top 12, which of course means that we are through our LAN qualifiers. Here was a look back at the groups and how exactly we got there. Yesterday, we had these teams participating in inter-region groups, little round robin play. Top 2 advance. Teams that go 0-2 fall off. Davenport take a huge win versus Farmingdale State after a tough day yesterday. New Mexico State also kind of provide a bit of an upset and surprise as they take down Mars Hill in their first season of CCL. St. Edwards outlasts CSUN in a Map 5 affair, and then St. Clair all business to finish this off. They will join our other 4 teams that were already qualified by winning their regional playoffs. That was Fisher, University of North America, Northwood, and Oklahoma Christian. Again, a lot of our teams from last year, Austin, will be returning for a second straight year of LAN.
That's right. A lot of the teams returning, a chance to get that dub, chance to get some revenge here potentially. But man, it's a great 8 teams at that. I'm just so excited for this damn LAN. I mean, today was, it just sent me over the top. I mean, these are the online qualifiers for the LAN. So, you can only imagine what it's going to be like in that atmosphere with the players face to face, going at it, trying to win it all, man. It's going to be an incredible weekend.
Yes, sir. That will be happening in the beginning of June. June 8th through the 11th are the dates for the CCL LAN. So these 8 teams, time to get to work. Got to keep those scrims up through the month of May. You don't want to come out flat and unprepared. Lots of things that have been shown on broadcast. Lots of opportunities to continue to improve as we extend in towards the late season of the Modern Warfare 2 year. That's going to do it, though, for us and our regular and most of our postseason. Our regular broadcast comes to an end. The next time we'll see you is in person in Columbus, Ohio on June the 8th. Till that point, make sure you guys out there keep pulling it down. So long.